And then this guitar will be together for the first time. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to start drilling these holes for the pick guard. Put the neck on, or put this on first, then the neck. And then this guitar will be together for the first time. All right, next we're gonna test this input jack just to make sure the wire goes in there good, and it looks like it's not. All right, so we're back. So literally after about an hour, we finally got this jack in. And our plug goes right in, comes out. So what I had to do is take this drill bit, go in here, drill it out. They drilled the hole too small for this thing. So there wasn't enough room for the thing to expand or flex as you plug it in. So lesson learned. And then we've got a few loose screws on here. All right, so I'm going to clean this up real quick, and then we are going to install the neck. All right, now we're getting ready to install the neck. As I said before we do that, we're going to have to peel this off, because this lip on the neck, I think we're just going to peel it off to a certain point. I don't want to peel the whole thing off just in case. So we'll get out our little X-Acto knife. And we're just going to peel it off just in the front here. Leave that, just in case we don't want to damage it. Okay, so we've got our bolts, we've got our neck plate. So I've already checked, made sure everything lines up. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and put this neck in from the top. You always want to top load it, don't slide it in. Let's go ahead and push it in. And then what I also recommend you do is stand it up. I'm going to do this off camera, and then push it down all the way to seat it all the way down in there to get some good wood contact. There we go. Yeah, that made quite a bit of difference. All right, now we just got to be careful with all our stuff here. We're going to throw it on a cloth here. And then what we want to do too is we want to make sure that these holes all line up. There we go. There's that one. Because we do not want to screw new holes in. Okay, those two line up. So you can use this or like an ice pick or something. Okay, that one lines up. This one. There we go. So we've got that pretty good. Oh, let me just do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to readjust our camera, and then we're going to do this from another angle. All right, so we're back again. So once again, we've pushed the neck in from the top, and then we stood it up, held it in place, pulled it all the way down, make sure it's seated properly. You could kind of hear it pop into place. Then we're going to go ahead and put this plate on, and we're going to put these, start these screws. We already checked that they lined up, so we know that the neck is going to line right up with this, no problem. Because it already had pre-drilled holes. So all right, let's get out the heavy duty screwdriver here. We've also got our ratcheting one, so we're going to start with that. Make it a little bit faster. What we're going to do is we're going to go across from each other. Okay, last one here. All right, now once that starts getting tight, I usually switch over to a regular screwdriver. I just think it's a little bit better, less chance of slipping. We'll see. Okay, let's go back to this. It's easier. Maybe not. All right, so here we are for the first time. Guitar is bolted together. So here we are back with the black Limba Strat. We're getting ready to install the bridge. So the first thing you want to do is put these bridge posts in. Simple as that. And these also have that locking feature. They have a little nut that I showed you guys earlier that runs right through the center. So once we get the right height set, okay, so this is going to sit like that. Obviously we're going to have to adjust this as we see fit, and I'm sure he wants to dive bomb both ways. So I can actually go a little bit lower. Okay, so we're going to leave that right about there. Now the hard part is putting the springs on, because we're going to have to flip this over without destroying these knife edges on this thing. So I'm going to put this down, slide this underneath to stabilize it, hopefully hold it in place, put a rag on top of that, and then now we're going to flip it over, hopefully all in one piece. So we've got our little bag here with all the Allen wrenches that you need and your springs right here. So we're just going to cut this open. And this comes with 4 springs. I am just going to put on 3, and then we'll see exactly what my brother wants. So we're going to have to bring, we're definitely going to have to bring that claw out. Okay, so let me bring this claw out and then we'll put the springs on. All right, so we loosen the claw a little bit. We've got our first spring on. Our 2 knife edges are seated on here properly. Hopefully you guys can see that. So to put the springs on, you can use a tool or whatever. I usually just use my hands, just pull it over. You can use a any kind of pliers. Yep, somebody loves me, gotta go. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're installing that brass shim that I showed you earlier with a Floyd Rose or a locking style nut. You don't ever want to file it, so we're bringing that up to 20 thousandths. It was a little bit low, so we put a small shim in there, and now we're tuning it back up to pitch, and then we are going to install the 3 locking nuts for all the strings, and then we're going to recheck the action and make sure it's at that 20 thousandths. And you see right here I'm checking it with a feeler gauge, and it's good to go. Make sure you never file a locking nut, always use shims. Alright, so we are back. Guitar is all tuned up, so let me pull this up here. So this detuner thing, let me swing this over here a little bit. So this thing, the key with this thing is pull it out, you tune it up. This is going to be your here, let me show you in the book, because I had to go over this. Okay, so if you follow this book, E is in, D is out. So this is going to be your out. So what you want to do is you tune it to that thing. My brother actually plays a whole step down. So you tune it to that first. Then you push this in. And then you're going to tune to whatever the lower one. In this case, he's already in D, and then he drops down to C. So there is a little Allen wrench that comes with this. So you're going to take that little Allen wrench. You tune this up first. Then you want to lock your nut, your locking nut up here. So you lock that down. Then you drop this down in like that. And then you just put your Allen wrench in here and you fine tune it to adjust it to that. And then you're done. Once that is set, you shouldn't have to ever adjust it again. So we set that up. We check the action. We also put a little spacer in. Let's go back over here. We put a little spacer in over here. I do not remember where I got these online. I've had these for several years, but it's basically a brass and I showed it to you in that video. So it's a little L-shaped thing, so it just goes in like this. So it's going to go in like this under the nut, and then the screw is actually going to come where this cutout is. So I did that, set the action at the first fret at 20 thousandths, and then our high E string is at 3/64, and then 5/64 for the high E, and then once again that 18 to 20 thousandths, you can go up to 22 at the first fret if, you know, they're like a Stevie Ray Vaughan type player. So everything is set, guitar is all finished. Went ahead and re-oiled the fretboard real quick, wiped it off, and then this thing is getting ready to go back to its owner. So we'll do a couple flybys here, I guess. You guys can see how it is before it goes back to the owner. And then the back we left open at his request. He didn't want to cover. And that's what the back looks like. So this thing is going back to its owner. All right, it's been great working on this. I was glad to be able to work on this for my brother. All right, aloha till next time.
Hey Jim, I just wanted to say thanks. This is a beautiful guitar, and I know you put a lot of work into it. Thanks, man. Sounds awesome, man. Thanks.